Black and blue, I crawl alone. The wreckage of what now is gone. Back to you to fight another day. I'll go on and on and on and on. I'll face it, the demons I created with every last part of me.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lowdown Show on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, and this is our WWE Draft review episode. We are your Canadian-based WWE podcast that discusses and reviews Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown from the weeks past, as well as our Twitter poll segment called the Luke Gallows polls and our WWE headline segment where we talk about any important news in the WWE. Every week, the Lowdown Show is broadcasted live on Spreaker at Spreaker.com/NHBWP. And after it is done, it is posted on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes in full. If you'd like to join in on the conversation and have your thoughts, questions, opinions read on the podcast, tweet us at noholdsbarredwp or by leaving a comment on the YouTube video. You can also follow the podcast by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, as well as subscribing to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker. We are everywhere. Everything will be in the description below for you guys. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and every week I am continued to be joined by my co-host, the boss, Mr. Corporate himself, Corporate Captain.
Hello.
He's here, Mr. Corporate himself.
Yeah, no more Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, no more. We are now in Tuesday, the era of Tuesday Night SmackDown.
Is this
and
the
last
reality
night,
era? What is this?
I don't even know what era this is. But last night we had the first ever WWE actual real draft. Actually, since the first one back in its heyday when it started. Okay, so what we're going to do in this episode, guys, we'll go through a couple of topics here. There's a lot to talk about here. Like, tons. So basically, we're going to have our initial draft reaction. Then we'll get into the Raw draft overview, then the SmackDown one. Then we're going to pick who won the draft, and we'll discuss that. We'll go over injured superstars who were not drafted and superstars who were left out of the draft. We'll go over future champions for both brands and underrated picks for both brands. So let's get into our initial draft reaction.
Can we also say overrated picks? Because there were a lot of them.
Yeah, we can go with overrated picks too. But our initial draft reaction, yeah, I had a lot of mixed reactions for this. Like, tons. I'm so on the fence about if I like this or not. Like, it had its key moments, and then you look at what happened with SmackDown, and everyone on Twitter is going nuts about this and how terrible the women's division was picked for SmackDown and how stacked it was Raw, even some superstar-wise. But then you go look at it on the other side of the fence and look at the superstars that were drafted to SmackDown and look at the potential they have to actually becoming a future star in this company. Yeah. And now they're going to get that chance and that big break because they're on a brand that has less of bigger talent than Raw does. And they're going to have that chance to shine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's less people to go over top of.
Exactly.
SmackDown.
So at first I was really pissed off. Like, Corporate Cappy here remembers, like, when we were getting into the network hour, I was just like ready to pass out. I was just waiting. I was telling him to shut the fuck up on TV.
Oh, yeah. Can we also talk about how bad that was? Like, making us wait like
oh my god, like literally people
picks?
Just want the picks. They don't want you to make it like an NHL draft where it's like 18 hours long.
We know these people. It's not like we've never seen these people before.
Like, we know what they're all about. Like, we know we'll get their reaction on the YouTube channel and have like backstage interviews that way. Just don't stop with that. Just give us the picks. We all wanted draft picks. I'm pretty sure the crowd at one point tonight said we want draft picks. So like
on an hour show after the network that wasn't needed.
Yeah. So then basically it was like SmackDown for 3 hours, except the third hour is all backstage stuff in the draft central with Corey Graves, Lita, Booker T, and Renee Young. Oh my god!
And having random people come in at some points during the show.
With those shirts. Those 10-year-old shirts. Those are the same shirts they used like 10 years ago.
I think they did have the new logo on them though.
Yeah, but like
the same.
Oh my god! Oh,
the shirts looked way too small.
No, and then like. You have Stephanie's dress was the most generic looking dress I've ever seen in my entire life. All red with the raw, all the that was so tacky. I can't believe she loved that
plaid shirt. Made him look good.
I don't know. But again, our initial draft reaction, mine was, I don't know. My reaction at first was, I don't know what to think.
I thought Raw dominated the draft at first.
Yeah.
A couple of SmackDown late picks, especially.
I guess you could say because obviously they have more picks.
Yeah, couple of the network picks that SmackDown got, I think, were better than Raw's, but we'll get into that later. But I do like a couple of the SmackDown picks near the end.
Yeah. I want to point something out here. Brock Lesnar was chosen pretty high, but now it's come out that he's failed 2 drug tests. Same with Roman Reigns. Why are these people who are like failing the rules and not abiding by the rules able to get drafted high? Then you go into the network hour of Raw and SmackDown. You have people that were drafted there that should have been at least in the top 15. Like Cesaro, for one, got really drafted lower than anything else. That was complete bullshit. And you have other guys down in there, like, let's see, if I can just read off the list here.
Apollo Crews.
You know, I'll even give it to your boy, Mark Henry. Like, you could have picked him over Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar just failed 2 drug tests. One of the drugs that John Jones got in trouble from the UFC for. How is he allowed to be drafted in the top 5? Same with Roman Reigns. They broke the rules.
Because they're the names. They're the people that...
It's so bad. You know, whatever, Raw, you messed up on that by picking those 2 fucks. And, like, SmackDown beat you over that by any day. Yeah, they could have picked Finn Balor, but they didn't. But still, just terrible picks on my theory and my...
They did... Raw did pick a lot of
opinion,
big guys, which was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
They did pick, like, every big guy.
But going back to our mock draft,
yeah.
and our revised one. We went from our revised one, not our just for fun one, because again, to you people out there and commenting on it, it was just for fun. So don't stop mocking us out there.
And there was reasons why we didn't pick Triple H and The Undertaker
because they're not. Look at the draft that just happened now. They didn't get drafted, so you can't give a shit for that. Anyways, into our revised mock draft. We did fairly okay. Overall, we got 24 picks right out of 58, which I mean is less than half. But I mean,
Raw, we did a lot better.
For what happened last night. I mean, I think we did pretty good.
Did a lot better on Raw than we did.
Raw, we got 14 and a half picks out of 29 right, and we say a half because we split up Breezango, even though they stayed together. So we got the half pick right. And as for SmackDown, we got 9.5 out of 29 picks right because we got the half for the Club, Fandango, and Lucha Dragons. So... yeah, we did really bad on the SmackDown side, but we thought it was going to be better. I mean, our SmackDown draft list looks way better than what happened last night.
Yeah, the SmackDown draft list, especially the women.
I know I don't have a say or a word in the WWE, but they could have just taken our draft list and then copy and pasted, and everyone would have been happy. Like, not to toot our own horn, but you know,
we
just
had a
saying,
good roster.
We picked a good roster.
We made it even. The rosters are not even.
No, they're not even. They're not even what they said they were going to be. They said SmackDown was supposed to be a wrestling-based show. It is sort of in a way, but it's not fully in a way. Like you look at some of the draft picks that Raw took. They could have benefited being on SmackDown. Like Cesaro, he's more wrestling-based than anything else. Why did he get drafted to Raw?
Cruiserweights, aren't they more wrestling-based?
Yeah, why are the cruiserweights drafted on SmackDown? I know you have 3 hours on Raw, but come on. It just doesn't make sense to me. So we'll go into the overviews now, and we'll talk about Monday Night Raw's draft picks. Number 1 pick, obviously Rollins, how we picked it too. We picked Rollins number 1 as well.
And we didn't on the last week's show, we didn't get to say Mick Foley was the GM of Raw.
So the GMs were Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan. So we did get the Daniel Bryan one right, but it's not Eric Bischoff, unfortunately. Yep. But hey, who knows? Something could happen down the line.
You don't seem to think that Mick Foley's going to last very long.
No, my opinion right now is that Mick Foley does not last. I honestly think that he's going to maybe last a month, maybe 2, and then something's going to happen. Stephanie's going to fire Mick Foley over like a stupid decision. Maybe Mick Foley trades with SmackDown and someone that Stephanie wanted to keep, and he fires Mick Foley and hires Bischoff or something. Yeah. But I don't see Mick Foley lasting too long.
Yeah, it seems weird like having Steph as the heel with Mick Foley who's the face.
It's strange, but you know what? It's a twist. It's something different that we don't get usually, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But again, into the Raw, Rollins obviously number 1. Like that was literally without a shadow of a doubt. Everyone knew he was going to be number 1.
He was gloating about it backstage with his Raw shirt on.
It's number 2. Raw's pick is what threw us off guard and threw us in a loop. They take Charlotte at number 2. Ooh.
I guess they want to make the WWE Championship like on the same level as the Women's Championship.
So yeah, I guess that's why they took it at number 2.
And then you get into made fun of me on the mock draft for taking women.
First, yeah, and then look what happened. Charlotte got taken at number 2 on Raw, and if we take a look at SmackDown here, the first one was taken at number 6. So that's the top 10 right there, people. Yep. And technically 7 too, because Maurice got chosen as well. So,
so
people
Slater's
were making fun
slate,
of
you know?
Cobra Cappy here for taking women in their first round and the first couple of picks. Look what just happened.
Yep.
So,
Women's revolution is real.
Yeah. So getting to even the Raw's third pick was the biggest blow. I didn't think he was going to go this early. I knew he's a hot commodity, but Finn Balor, holy crap. I could not believe he got drafted
all
to
the
Raw.
NXT stars were at the Performance Center watching it on TV.
Yeah.
None of them
Oh,
actually
man.
there.
I was so hyped for this. I couldn't believe it.
I find it interesting. They took a main roster guy, a woman, and then an NXT guy.
Yeah. Basically, like, the top... Raw took the top guy in each brand, except for SmackDown. They took the top guy in Raw. Basically, well, it was Raw SmackDown before this week. They took the top diva. No offense to our girls. And they took the top NXT person. That is crazy to think that way.
Yep.
And you get into their number 4 pick, and they pick the guy, the suspended steroid guy, Roman Reigns.
Great pick. Best pick of the draft.
And you follow that up with Lesnar at 5. Are you kidding me? Do you pick 2 people that... one of them is suspended, and 2 could be or should be suspended by WWE right now as well. How do you consider that number 4 and 5? How do you even consider those draft picks?
Well, I thought Roman Reigns is going to be a little bit later of a pick because he's not even around.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like in the network hour. Like he was like going to be like the first pick in the network hour.
I guess because they want to have the names on Raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but apparently Vince is still iffy right now with Roman Reigns after what he did. So he definitely took some sort of performance-enhancing drug that Vince doesn't like. So that's surprising because Vince is all about the steroids. So
if Roman Reigns wasn't suspended, you think he would have went?
He probably would have got number 2. Maybe number 1's pick on SmackDown, for sure. But, yeah. Getting into number 6 pick for Raw, The New Day, is huge. I mean, we knew that they were going to get picked The New Day. We got that pick right in our mock draft.
Yep.
The New Day makes sense on Raw. I can't see them being on SmackDown.
No.
Suck, because it's only 2 hours. They need to be part of that 3-hour gap show.
Don't split them up.
Yeah, and now they're not split up, so that's a plus. Number 7th pick, really huge for Raw, Sami Zayn. And we'll get into something about him later on. Number 8 pick for Raw, though, is where...
not talking about this anymore.
My co-host here, Cobra Cappy, almost lost his shit. He literally... I'd never seen him so upset. But they picked Sasha Banks. And we'll get into that later on in the news about this, too. Some superstars were not happy about their picks. Sasha Banks.
We're going to SmackDown next week in Buffalo.
And we expected Sasha to be there, and
nope.
Cobra Co. And even me, I haven't seen Paige in a while too. At least I got to see her at a live event, but like I've never seen her at a. Oh no, I did see her at the last Raw we went to. That's right. Never mind. Anyways, but Sasha Banks getting drafted to Raw, and now look at that. They have the two top women in the women's division right now on Raw, like kicking SmackDown's ass.
This is stupid. She should have been on SmackDown 100%.
Yeah. Again, we'll get into that later. As for the 9th pick, Chris Jericho, obviously Raw is Jericho. He's going to be on Raw to either put people over or bury people like he's been lately.
We got him right too, right?
Yeah, we did get him right. The 10th pick we got wrong, but again, we kind of like swapped the picks in our mock draft. So Rusev got drafted to Raw, and we picked SmackDown in our mock draft. So, whatever. They got a minor title now. They got the U.S. title on Raw, which we thought was going to be on SmackDown originally. But it's interesting. IC title going... both these titles have swapped shows lots in their history, so I guess it doesn't really make that much of a significance. But, yeah, Rusev on Raw. The next pick is
stupid.
Where we thought... It was the really stupid pick. They picked Kevin Owens going Raw. So they're keeping Owens and Zayn together.
This doesn't make sense.
I thought they were going to end this. I thought the Sunday battle was going to be the end of the war, and they were going to split these guys up in the draft and then not see each other for a while. But they're going to be on the same goddamn show.
No, great. So what, are they going to interfere in each other's matches again for the 100th
I really
time?
hope there's a trade later down the line. I can't... I'm reading stuff about trading, and people are not sure what's going on, how trades can work.
Kevin Owens could have been a top guy on SmackDown.
Yeah, I kind of see a trade maybe happening. Maybe they'll have a stipulation for Battleground. If Owens can't win, then he gets put to SmackDown. He gets traded to SmackDown, or something's going to happen. I hope
so. But looking at Raw's roster, where the hell is Kevin Owens going to go? He's not going to get elevated to the top.
Yeah,
to the top.
It's so hard because there's so much talent on Raw. It sucks. I don't understand how
when Lesnar comes back, he's going to be put in the title picture at some point.
I don't get how they can keep Owens and Zayn on the same show. I am not a fan of that.
They're both in the mid card. They're obviously going to be going against each other.
And Kevin Owens is my boy. I really hate to see him like this now, and I really would have loved him on SmackDown and seeing him next week and hopefully get a push like he deserves on SmackDown.
He could have challenged for the top title on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But
getting to the next pick, Enzo Cass, number 12 for Raw. Big good pick there, and you know what? Makes sense. I thought they're going to be on Raw. I'm pretty sure we got that pick right as well. No, we picked them on SmackDown actually, but you know, whatever. I mean, our sheet made more sense, but just saying, Enzo and Cass on Raw, the flagship show. You know, these guys are probably one of the most over tag teams out there besides New Day. So good for Enzo and Cass. But I guess one benefit is we won't get to see him team with John Cena anymore. So
sad day.
And speaking of tag teams, the next pick, the Club.
But
it's only Gallows and Anderson drafting to Raw. As we'll get into when SmackDown's over you, AJ Styles goes over to SmackDown. So the Club is split up. But there's something on the horizon here. They're not out of a leader just yet.
The Balor Club?
The Balor Club? He tweeted about it after the draft. He put hashtag Balor Club in his tweet.
Oh my god, he's such a troll on Twitter.
Oh my god, I honestly hope that happens. Maybe there'll be a trade. It'll be like Kevin Owens for AJ Styles. Maybe it'll be huge, and then they'll get the Club reunited on Raw. So I said something big on the horizon here.
I want to see a trade. I want to see something happen like that.
I think something's going to happen. You know what? Well, I'm staying optimistic. I think something's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We'll see.
Maybe Battleground they're announced a trade. I don't know.
Hopefully. Like the first trade. That'd be great. Number 14th pick for Raw.
God.
Big Show.
I know, this was a great pick by you here.
I really don't even want to talk about this pick.
No, I want to talk about why he was drafted so high.
Okay. Guys, get this. I know I'm breaking it here. I'm going through the rest of the picks really quickly here, but Big Show was picked over Cesaro, Sheamus. As much as I hate him, he's picked over Sheamus, the Dudleys, Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, Braun Strowman, who's apparently the savior of wrestling.
Neville.
You got picked over those guys. How do you pick Big Show at 14? The guy has like 2 years left, maybe a year left in his career. That guy should have been saved for the network part of the draft. I don't get how high he was drafted. That is pathetic.
It was
seriously
bogus.
Pathetic.
How was he drafted over Cesaro?
And like you get into SmackDown, even though he wasn't a SmackDown pick, he was picked over. Let's see there. Big Show's at 14. Okay, listen to this. He was picked over Kalisto. He was picked over Zack Ryder, The Ascension, Apollo Crews. He was picked over the Vaudevillains. And he was picked over Mojo Rawley. Like, guys like this who deserve a push and deserve their time in the spotlight, and Big Show is getting picked over them.
That's exactly what's wrong with
garbage.
The company.
Terrible pick. Number 15's pick was for Raw was a complete surprise because I completely forgot, and it wouldn't have thought she got drafted from NXT, but Nia Jax.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I thought she was challenging Asuka for the women's title.
I thought something was going to happen. I thought she got at least another year in the NXT, but I guess, if you're The Rock's cousin, you get first priority over everything.
Is she actually The Rock's cousin, or is she one of the fake cousins, Samoan cousins?
You know what? I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't sit here and tell you which one she is.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So
that's
a boost for that women's division on Raw, right?
They don't really have like a big muscle. You know what I mean? Like they used to have Beth Phoenix and Karma.
Yeah,
and these people.
But now Nia Jax is that one.
Now Nia Jax can be that person.
She could be like that Goldberg-esque type woman for the women's division. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Number 60, we had Neville, the returnee Neville, the first, I think, and only returnee of the night for draft picks. So Neville gets drafted to Raw,
and they have the cruiserweight division there. They announced that.
So I'm guessing he'll be part of that. That'll be kind of cool to watch, man. Like the guys they take from the Cruiserweight Classic into Raw with Neville. Oh, I am so excited for that.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to watch that.
I see him being Cruiserweight champion 100%.
Yeah, I see that too. Number 17, though, we have Cesaro. I don't know why he was dropped this low.
Steal the draft.
And this guy, he had like a shoot interview, if you guys didn't see it, and it was, I can't believe, 17. That is so low for a guy like Cesaro. Like this guy is incredible. I want to know, hang on a second, I want to know where we had him in the draft. We had him at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had it at number 10, and he was number 17. In the real draft.
After Big Show.
That's the key point right there. After Big Show. Guys, remember that. Cesaro was taken after Big Show. That's how stupid WWE can be sometimes. Unfreaking believable. Like he has all the reasons in the world to be mad. And also to be mad at the fact that he didn't get drafted to SmackDown where it was supposed to be wrestling based. Because he is a wrestling based wrestler. Not superstar.
Not sports entertainer, I guess.
This is bullshit.
I'm just astounded that he was drafted so late for a guy with his talent.
100% agree.
And like, where's he going to go on this roster?
Again, you get into the Kevin Owens situation. What do you do from here? Cesaro has like no room to get elevated here. I'd be so mad.
You can't get over Rollins. You can't get over Reigns. You can't get over Lesnar.
And if they're doing the draft every year, you're going to literally have to wait another year and hope to get drafted to another brand. Like, that's so bad.
He could have been a top guy along with Kevin Owens on SmackDown.
100%. Number 18th pick makes sense. Sheamus, number 18. Yeah, you know what? I said it before. I don't like talking about this guy. He's got number 18. I'm moving on. Number 19, Golden Truth gets drafted.
Golden Truth!
Oh my God. Golden Truth gets taken over guys like O'Neal, Darian. I know they're entertaining, but come on. Goldust is like 80 years old.
They're like the oldest tag team.
Literally the oldest tag. And I'm not even kidding. Like, literally the oldest tag team.
Goldust is the oldest guy on the roster. He's 49. Our like 40 something.
Unbelievable.
You know, that's a great pick. I mean, I picked him in our first mock draft pretty high, and people made fun of me, but you know what? I was right. I knew what WWE was going to pick.
No comment. No comment here.
Great pick.
We're going to move on to number 20, Titus O'Neil. Good pick. Again, we love this guy. He's got so much potential that no one seems to see. But he ended up being... I think he was the first pick in the TV draft. I think it was Golden Truth. Or is it Titus O'Neil?
No, it was Golden Truth.
It's Golden Truth. Okay, so we're already in the network hour. So Titus O'Neil, good, number 20. My girl Paige gets taken at 21. I don't know how she's not taken on TV. People are missing the potential with this girl. And now, like today, number 7 trending on Twitter, Paige deserves better, 100%.
Or when you look at SmackDown's roster.
Why wasn't Paige drafted over there?
She could have been the top. She could have been the top woman on SmackDown already.
Man.
Like looking at Raw's women's division,
like you have Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and now Paige. Holy shit!
Any 4 of those probably would have been the top pick on SmackDown.
Yeah,
if you're looking at their women's division.
I cannot believe it.
The women's division is absolutely terrible on SmackDown. We'll get into it later.
I feel so bad for my girl Paige. But moving on, number 22, Darren Young. So he joins Titus O'Neil. I wonder if we're going to get a reuniting of the primetime players, or try to. And like Bob Backlund's like, no, we're trying to make you great again. I can see that. Sin Cara at number 23.
Yeah, Lucha Dragons got split up.
Yep, they announced before the draft that they are officially going to the draft as singles competitors, as we'll get into later, as Kalisto got drafted to SmackDown.
Sin Cara might be good in the Cruiserweight division.
Yep, number 24, Jack Swagger. Whatever. I mean, we knew he was going to go low. I mean, it sucks for that guy, but he's basically a main event or superstars wrestler. He's not anything else. There's no push, but there's no it factor behind him.
He had his push way too early.
He's had the same gimmick for like 8 years, so whatever. The Dudleys, number 25. Surprisingly, I thought they would go a little bit higher than 25, but again, they're that tag team that's old and slipping off. Like they're about to leave soon. Summer Rae at number 26. Sure, why not?
Jobber Woman, why
Jobber not? Woman, number 1. Number 27, we got the Hall of Pain, Mark Henry.
Yeah.
And again, like as you said before, like he's going to be going off into the sunset soon, so whatever. Getting picked this low kind of makes sense, you know. He's that guy that come back once in a while for an it factor to a match, or added to a tag team. You got Braun Strowman at 28, which was pretty surprising. I guess this proves that Vince is not high on this guy anymore because he got picked so low.
Is he going to be a jobber now that he's split up from the Wyatts?
How does a guy that size job, unless you're the Great Khali? So is Braun Strowman the new Great Khali?
I don't know, because he's broken up from the Wyatts now.
Yeah, this is interesting. 29, Bo Dallas. He's got a Bo Leave and Bo Dallas.
Yeah, and then the social outcasts were like flipping out backstage because they thought it was the whole group. And they were like, no, it's only Bo Dallas. And they flipped out. And
he's like, you just got a Bo Leave. And at number 30, Shining Stars. All right, moving on. Number 31, Alicia Fox.
Another jobber woman.
Cool.
Why not?
32, Dana Brooke, obviously, because, you know, her pro...
How the hell was Dana Brooke drafted after Alicia Fox? That's another...
yeah, that's pretty bad, too. I mean, I know she's Charlotte's protege and she's being a little annoying little twitch right now, or a little itch. But Dana Brooke has actually really good talent. How do you get chosen at 32? She should get taken at least between 15 and 20, I would have said.
Just goes to show you how good Raw's division is going to be.
Yep. And then now 33 with Curtis Axel. So 2 members of the social outcast on Raw. We'll get into the third one later.
Oh, okay.
So that's it for Raw. I mean, wow. Again, as we said before, stacked much.
The women's
wise stacked. wrestlers-wise, somewhat stacked. I mean, some superstars should be switched around, which we'll get into now.
Roman Reigns and Lesnar or whatever, but the men's division looks like it's going to be the same thing as it was before the draft, with the same guys in the mid-card, like Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. This looks like they're going to be stuck in the mid-card again.
Yeah. Getting to SmackDown's pick. SmackDown, you know what? I had my doubts about SmackDown at first. I think more towards the women's division there, but wrestler-wise, perfect. I love because SmackDown is half about the future, and these superstars that are half of SmackDown guys are going to get their push they deserve and the TV time they deserve. I'm actually really stoked about SmackDown and half their roster. So we'll get into it. Their number one pick was the champion Dean Ambrose. So for now, they have a championship. We'll see what happens after Sunday in the triple threat match. So Dean Ambrose, solid pick by SmackDown.
Fantastic pick at number 2.
Number 2, AJ Styles, which we thought was definitely going to happen, and it did happen.
But we just thought that the club
whole
was
club,
come
but
with
Styles on SmackDown, followed up by John Cena. So literally all signs are pointing towards the title changing hands and going to Reigns or Rollins, and then the new championship. Maybe it's a triple threat. Maybe it's Styles, Cena, and Ambrose for that'd be sick. I'd love to see that. So yeah, we don't know. That creates a little because we all thought the Shield was going to be on one show, and the top 2 guys in the other show would be Styles and Cena, and we'd be like, oh, okay, so those guys are definitely going to battle for the new world title. But now you add Ambrose into the mix, and you got Orton there. Like, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So I like that. So again, number 4, Randy Orton. So you have Ambrose, Styles, Cena, then Randy Orton.
They got some names on there. Yep.
Now this is interesting. Number 5 pick for SmackDown. Out of the whole Wyatt family, they just choose Bray Wyatt. Wow. Does this mean we're going to get a Bray Wyatt singles push? I like it. Yep. I fucking love that. We've been wanting that for a long time to see how Bray Wyatt does on his own. This right here is going to establish himself as a new face of fear because he's by himself. He doesn't have people behind him like Undertaker did. I mean, he kind of had it with Paul Bearer, but I remember when he broke away from Paul Bearer, he started getting more and more popular and becoming more that face of fear as well. Like he was already, but he gained more. More fans, and he became more that face of fear without Paul Bearer when he became his own, and when he started feuding against Kane too, when Paul Bearer was with Kane. So
gain some momentum. You know?
So I think this is a good way to have that momentum go to Bray Wyatt if he's going to be the next kind of Undertaker type wrestler. So good for Bray Wyatt. Now number 6 pick for SmackDown, Becky Lynch.
According to Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, she was the best woman available.
I don't agree.
I think that's a joke, but I mean, she's the face of the women's division there.
No.
What?
No.
This just goes to show how bad.
Apparently, SmackDown's face of women's division is Becky Lynch, but I'm staying optimistic. I'm hoping Bayley gets called up and gets chosen on SmackDown. I really hope that'll happen.
Man, she needs to go there real bad.
Next pick 7, The Miz. So we have the IC title now on SmackDown. That's interesting. That'll give an opportunity for a lot of wrestlers we think that deserve a mid-card title. And I'm speaking of the next guy, Baron Corbin. I think he probably will be the next Intercontinental Championship champion. My boy Baron Corbin. I hope he gets the push he deserves. And now he's getting the TV time he deserves. So he's got a lot more room to get pushed. So good for Baron Corbin.
Yep.
Number 9's pick. I am so pumped to see these guys next week. I am so behind these guys. My favorite tag team right now, American Alpha. Oh my God, Ready, Willing, and Gable. I cannot wait for this. These guys are awesome. That's going to elevate the tag team division on SmackDown. They'll probably be the top team, 100%.
That was the first surprise pick.
Yep.
That we had from NXT. Well, can't remember.
Finn Balor and Nia Jax, but whatever.
Yeah,
American Alpha.
Called that. We predicted.
I mean, we knew American Alpha was going to get drafted, but we thought they were going to get drafted to Raw. But they got.
I like
him
on SmackDown. I like it.
I like it. Number 10, Dolph Ziggler. All right, so you got number 10, Ziggler. I mean, we always talk about this guy and how much of a push he deserves. He's getting picked at number 10 for SmackDown.
You know what, with SmackDown's mid card, he might be able to get a mid card title again.
Or maybe he even get a major championship on SmackDown.
He has more room here than he would have on Raw.
Yeah, so good for Ziggler. We're proud of him. Yep. Number 11, Natalya. Obviously. So I guess this Becky and Natalya feud probably is going to continue.
The top feud on SmackDown is Natty versus Becky.
No comment.
Neat.
I'm going to watch women on Raw. That's it.
Yeah.
Alberto Del Rio, number 12, your boy.
Woo!
So it looks like they have some faith in him. Brings a lot to the table. A lot of huge career list, good resume. So good for Del Rio. Still in good shape.
He goes against. So.
Yep. Number 13, the Usos. Great.
Next.
Number 14, Kane.
They said Demon Kane. They didn't say Corporate Kane.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it only makes sense just because Brian is the GM, and we're going to see a lot of Kane and I think we're going to see a lot of Kane and Daniel Bryan antics and a lot of stuff like that in the future. So we'll see.
I did pick Corporate Kane as my COO for SmackDown.
You did. Number 15th pick, Kalisto. That is huge because I love Kalisto. This guy is insane. Now he's going to have like a singles run. But this is one of the picks that doesn't make sense for SmackDown because the Cruiserweight division is on Raw. Why was he not drafted to Raw?
Did they want him to be the next Rey Mysterio?
I don't know. But even then, he was a Cruiserweight. Unless they're making Kalisto be a minor champion, Kalisto is Cruiserweight, 100%. If they're going to do a trade, they got to include Kalisto to co-battle with the Cruiserweights on Raw. 100%. He cannot get pushed on SmackDown. I don't think he belongs here.
If he is, he's probably going to get jobbed.
I mean, great pick by SmackDown, but it doesn't belong here.
No, if they had the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah. 16, Naomi.
Great pick.
How does Naomi get picked over Apollo Crews?
Because Naomi's amazing. Just like your song says.
I'm not even going to justify
She's
that
the
with an
third
answer.
best woman on SmackDown. She's the equivalent
How do you feel
to
good
Paige
saying
on
that?
Raw.
How do you even feel good saying that?
Hey.
I'm moving on. I don't even care. I'm moving on. Number 17, The Ascension. Yes. Great. So they're the third team to get picked on SmackDown, and this is great. If they have that much faith in them, I hope they get the push they deserve and not the jobbing tag team that they got called up on. They were dominant in NXT. They need to be dominant on SmackDown. They need to be the top heel team on SmackDown. They need to be the champions if they get into their titles. They need to be them. 100%. I hope they get the push.
I don't think their gimmick's getting over with the crowd.
They need to get pushed. Speaking of push, number 18, Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Good for this guy.
New theme song.
Yeah. We'll see how Zack Ryder push gets along.
He's got a chance on SmackDown to be something.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, number 19, Apollo Crews, though. You got this guy coming in, the most underrated pick of the draft, I think.
How the hell was he picked 19th?
God, guys, they don't see the. I don't know why you don't see the potential in this guy, people. This guy is like 100% future world champion, written all over him.
Like, I expected him to be picked up like where Baron Corbin was. Like, I put those two on the same level.
I can't believe number 19. That's the most underrated pick of the draft, 100%.
That's brutal.
Yeah. And number 20, another surprise NXT pick, and we are really, really happy about this. Alexa Bliss.
Fantastic pick.
She's great.
She's going to be my favorite woman on SmackDown, 100%.
I don't think she'll be my favorite. She'll be one of my favorites. I think my favorite will be in the last pick of SmackDown.
But yeah, she's a hell of a talent coming up from NXT.
I can't believe she called her up. So we'll see how Alexa Bliss does a whole. I pray to God that she helps lift this division because
SmackDown got a lot. I like SmackDown's picks better in like the late rounds.
Yeah. Because we'll get into 21. I'm sure you're going to love this. Breezango didn't split up.
Phenomenal.
And they stayed together. But this gives a chance if they do split up down the line that Tyler Breeze might get a push too.
You never know. We'll see.
22's pick.
Why? Why is she even getting called? Why is she still employed?
Hold on. Everyone pause. How does Eva Marie get called up and not Asuka? And not Shinsuke Nakamura, and not Bailey, and not Samoa Joe. How do you pick Eva fucking Marie who can't wrestle?
I love those things. It was like Eva Marie drafted to Pornhub.
Yeah. Oh my god. She belongs there. She does not belong in a WWE ring.
Can't that worst pick of the draft.
If she's like the so-called savior, we're not seeing this. If we don't see it next week when we're at SmackDown, then I have no faith in her whatsoever.
She's the Roman Reigns of the division, the one that's getting pushed that no one wants to get pushed.
It's fucking garbage. I'm done.
We'll see. On. Maybe she's got the Braun Strowman moveset that we haven't seen again.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All right.
I want to move on. 23, the Vaudevillains. I mean, again, you don't like their gimmick, but good tag team to compete with the level of tag teams on SmackDown. I think we're going to see something different from them down the line. I hope they do good as well. 24 is a weird pick. Eric Rowan. Apparently he had like a creepy, I didn't see it, there's a creepy vignette they did with Eric Rowan after the draft. Cool.
So is he going to be with like Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, is he going to not be with, like, we don't even know. We'll have to see. We're probably going to find out next week. So
great. Can't wait to see him.
Yeah, no. Number 25, another surprise NXT pick, Mojo Rawley.
Are they gonna put him and Zack Ryder back together?
Hold
as
up.
the hype bros?
Why did they pick Mojo Rawley over Ty Dillinger? We're pissed that they didn't get Ty Dillinger up on the main roster. This guy has done so much for NXT and has broken his back for NXT. How does this guy not get called up? Unless they have plans of making him the future NXT champion, he needs to get called up. This is bullshit. No offense to Mojo Rawley, but come on.
Maybe he'll get a push now on NXT.
I hope so. I hope he doesn't become the jobber for life. I'd be so pissed. He's got his own t-shirt, for Christ's sakes. But yeah, I guess the Hype Bros, there's a tease of maybe a return for the Hype Bros, maybe. Yeah. I really hope not. I don't think the crowd's going to go over with the Hype Bros. Number 26.
Fantastic pick.
Carmella. Wow. She's definitely going to be my favorite diva on SmackDown. She is awesome. She is Fabolous. Yes. Fabulous. I just definitely just sang this theme song.
As Enzo and Cass either.
That's the interesting part, because everyone thought that when she get called up, she'd be their manager. But you know what? I think she really wants to be that wrestling type of diva. Yeah, so she's not going to get that chance with Enzo and Cass. So this is going to be her shot and her big break. So that's why I love it that Carmella got drafted to SmackDown. Good for her. I'm so proud of her. I would have taken
Alexa Bliss and Carmella over like the first 10 picks that fucking SmackDown had for their women.
I would say that 100% yes.
Like Becky, okay. I'll say Becky first, and then those two, second and third, and then the rest of the division they got.
Oh, 100%. I 100% agree. I can't believe Carmella and Alexa Bliss got picked.
There's a lot of movement for them there. I mean,
yeah, I really hope that they help save what is already a crappy women's division on SmackDown.
Eva Marie, look out, man.
So, in terms of who won the draft, guys,
Raw.
Okay, wrestler. Okay, how about this? I'm going to use old terms here. Superstar-wise, SmackDown. Women-wise, or diva-wise, Raw, 100%. So I split it that way, 100%. Because you can argue with me that Raw won superstar-wise, but you look at half the roster, half of them are on steroids, and half of them are probably not going to go anywhere besides the mid-card.
They've also got Big Show, Mark Henry, Braun Strowman.
You guys,
Brock Lesnar.
Listen to what he just said. They have those guys, and if you say that they have better superstars, you're on whatever Reigns and Lesnar are taking right now. SmackDown beat them superstar-wise by far.
Like, besides Seth Rollins.
Yeah, oh man.
Cesaro. I do like Raw's mid-card.
Cesaro should be on SmackDown.
I do like Raw's mid-card with Sami Zayn, Owens, and Cesaro.
Yep.
But, yeah.
SmackDown's going to be that big break show where our wrestlers that we think feel that they deserve a big break are going to get that big break finally.
Because they're not going to get a shot on Raw. Like, look at what they have on Raw.
Yeah.
But the people that they have at the top, those guys are not going to get pushed.
100%. So, yeah, we feel that's how the draft went. Overall, okay, I'm going to have to give it to Monday Night Raw. By like 0.5.
And it's only because the women's division completely blew it out of the water.
Yeah. That's probably the only reason why I'm going to watch Raw is for the women's division and some of the mid-card. I'm watching SmackDown entirely because I think both could benefit from this. And I hope the women one does benefit because I want to watch SmackDown for Alexa Bliss and Carmella. And I hate to say this, but Becky Lynch to actually I hate Becky Lynch, but I want her to become one of the top divas. She has to bring something to the table that we haven't seen yet.
She was the number one pick by SmackDown.
So she better elevate that women's division. So she's got to step it up.
Yep.
So let's get into some other parts of the draft. Injured superstars who were not drafted. We have Emma, who I don't know where she would go or where she would fit in.
I feel like she'd go on SmackDown.
I think that's a good pick for SmackDown, though. If she went to SmackDown, 100%, she'd be definitely a good elevation. Luke Harper, and that's interesting. I say like maybe Raw. I see him more of a Raw, maybe doing something with Braun Strowman. Maybe there's like I don't know, something like that.
They're breaking him away from Rowan and Bray, I guess.
Nikki Bella, who's injured. She's about to get her MRI results, so I think she's due to be back soon. Nikki Bella. She'd be good on SmackDown. She'd help elevate it, but I feel like she'd steal the spotlight.
Yeah, I feel like they put her on Raw.
Yeah, I feel they put her on Raw with the other guy. Like, why not? You already have all the other fucking top divas over there. Why not stick her over there? Tamina, if and when she comes back, I mean, she's old.
She's just going to be there to put the other.
She's going to be that manager. Maybe she'll come back with Naomi. I see if she comes back with Naomi. That's who I see. And Tyson Kidd, we don't even know. Like, we don't even know where he is right now.
He's on Total Divas.
He's like
that's all we
Stephon
know.
Robidoux from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, we don't know where he is.
Long-term IR, but no clue where he is.
Yeah.
And if he does come back, could he be in that cruiserweight division?
I think Tyson Kidd would be part of that cruiserweight division. I say he goes to Raw and helps it elevate. But I have this feeling he'd go to SmackDown. I don't know why, because Natalia's there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic wrestler as well.
But they've already split up real-life couples, so he could go to Raw. Superstars that were left out of the draft, obviously Undertaker. He's one of those. So Undertaker, Rock, and Triple H are all left out of the draft because they're those one-off guys.
Yep.
The guys who come back for one match a year, or if you're The Rock, never for some reason. Because remember when you came back, you said you're never going away. Well, it's been like a year and a half since your last match. Well, I mean, you had a sort of a match at WrestleMania.
Eric Rowan,
like
5
a 4
second
second
long.
match. But like, what the hell? Ryback, I hear that his contract's ending soon, and he don't think he's going to re-sign.
So
I
it's
think
like Wade
WWE
Barrett,
wants to
he's just,
re-sign
like,
him.
Kind of just gonna
Yeah.
go off in the sunset.
Rosa Mendez is on maternity leave, so when she comes back, we'll see how physical she's going to get, or if she's going to get back into it. We'll see. Well, it's interesting. You know, maybe she'll be with the Shining Stars.
Next.
And lastly, but not least, we don't know what's going on with this guy, but he has now been titled the hottest free agent in in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Heath Slater.
He at the end of the draft on the network, he was sitting in the room by himself, and then they turned the lights off
Yeah,
on him.
Heath Slater was not picked. He was left. He's literally it left out. I don't know what to do with him.
I feel like they're probably gonna put him on Raw with the Social Outcast,
Yeah,
but
I think they're making a storyline out of it, how he's become like the hottest free agent, and it's just he's gonna be like his new gimmick. Oh man, that was
I was
so
too
funny.
good. I wasn't picked.
I was too good. I wasn't picked. They're fighting over me. Oh, poor Heath Slater.
This is great. This
Slater
is good for
Gator.
the YouTube channel if they want to keep doing videos with this. But
So now we'll get into who we think are future champions of both shows. It's interesting. We're gonna start with SmackDown. Future world champion for SmackDown. Who would you pick as the next future world champion?
like upcoming future or like
No, anyone who anyone on the roster right now who you think is going to be the next world champion.
the next or future?
The next.
The next world champion?
We'll do both.
AJ Styles.
Okay. That's my
And-
pick. Obviously, AJ Styles is guaranteed going to be a champion in WWE. It's a matter of time.
Future,
Future.
steal the draft, Paul Cruz.
I see that too. I think Apollo Crews is definitely going to get. I hope he gets elevated to that world champion level, but I might have to disagree with you. I think the future world champion is Bray Wyatt.
I want to see that too.
I think Bray Wyatt's definitely going to get his.
He's
break.
never
And-
gotten even a mid card title.
No, he's never got a mid title. I think he's going to get his first title is going to be a major title. It's going to be the SmackDown, whatever title it is, the WWE title or the new title. I think Bray Wyatt is definitely a future top champion.
Yeah,
or
I
world champion.
think he's got a lot of room on SmackDown.
But I
either.
do see Apollo Crews as well. He's definitely a future world champion
That's like
if they
down
go that
the road.
way.
That's like probably a
Yeah.
year or so from now. But I mean, Bray Wyatt, he could even be a mid card champion. Like compared to what the mid card is on SmackDown right now, he 100% should be mid
Oh,
card champion
by far,
at least.
100%.
Yeah,
As for Raw, the next champion. I mean, you couldn't include Roman Reigns, but like
The guy?
he's in. I'm gonna say Brock Lesnar. As much as a steroid freak, I think he's. Maybe I take that back. You know what? Because we're doing it right now, currently, I'm saying Seth Rollins because it's the obvious pick. He's the next champion.
Yeah, well,
Future champion. Future world champion? Finn Balor.
those are my two picks.
Yeah. I mean, like, who else? You look at it, and like everyone's at that mid-card title stage because that's where we see them. But if they're going to try to make Raw elevated, are they going to make those mid-card champions world champions
Are
finally?
Owens and Cesaro actually going to get a push to
Yeah, or
to the
Sami Zayn.
top?
Are these guys going to get that final world championship opportunity and get the title?
I don't think so. Like honestly, like I want them to, but knowing WWE, like they've got Rollins, they've got Roman Reigns, like that's going to be like the division, top of the division for the next year.
I see it. So yeah, those are the future and who we think the next
We should
champions
go
are.
over the women.
Oh, the woman, yeah. So if they are splitting, we don't even know what they're doing with the women's title. So let's just go at it as if they are splitting it, and there's going to be a women's championship on SmackDown and one on Raw. The next champion on SmackDown, I think, is going to be Becky Lynch.
Should be Becky.
It's going to be Becky.
Future, I'll say Alexa Bliss.
Future, yeah. I'm going to say Carmella. I think we're going to have a little war here as we have with Paige and Sasha with Carmella and Alexa.
There we go. I like
This is good. It's the birth of something. You're hearing it here first, guys.
Yeah.
Remember this podcast.
We got to have some new girls, some new blood.
Yeah.
Because clearly...
Yeah. As for Raw, I'm saying Sasha Banks. I'm saying your girl. She's literally the next champion.
I'm going to say Charlotte. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to say Sasha Banks.
Future, Paige. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Sure. You pick Sasha, so I'll pick Paige for Future.
Okay. If you were gonna say Summer Rae, Alicia Fox, or
I was
Dana Brooke,
debating Nia Jax, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, you know what? I'll give you that one. Nia Jax, I can probably see as a future champion as well. But I think Paige is actually going to be next in line. You know what? I don't think. I hope.
Yeah. What about future mid-card?
Mid-cards? We'll do the mid-cards. SmackDown?
Can we say Apollo Crews again?
The next mid-card champion is probably Baron Corbin.
Yep.
100%. Future... I would say Zack Ryder.
I'm going to say Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? We'll give it up for Ziggler. But I think Zack Ryder's going to get another title. I think they're high on him right now.
Yeah.
For Raw, next mid-card champion, their champion right now is Rusev. The next U.S. champion, I can see being Darren Young. Because they have the match Sunday. I think he's going to win it. But future...
I want to say the next U.S. champion is going to be Cesaro. I hope it is.
Yeah. I'm saying Sami Zayn.
For future?
Future.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pick.
I think he's going to win a mid-card before he gets elevated.
Yeah, I mean, usually everyone does, right?
Yeah.
Nobody just gets pushed up. I'll say...
Bo Leave. No. You had a Bo Leave and Bo Dallas for the next U.S. champion.
If he doesn't get put in the Cruiserweight division, I'll say Neville.
Oh, that's a good pick. That is actually a solid pick. I probably would have picked that too. But yeah.
Yep.
Shall we go over tag teams?
Sure.
Okay, if they are splitting their tag team titles, next tag team champions, if they're going to be the first tag team champions for SmackDown, I see it being the Vaudevillains. As much as I hate them, I think the Vaudevillains are going to be the first champions.
Honestly,
and future American Alpha.
Yeah, future American Alpha. Current, let's go with the Ascension.
Yeah. Again, remember what I said?
Maybe you could elevate them.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to... That's why I want them to be that top heel champion on SmackDown.
Like, look at the tag teams on SmackDown. Like, there aren't that many...
No, you got Ascension, Usos, Vaudevillains, and American Alpha. And possibly the Hype Bros if they get back together.
Yeah, there's not... There's a lot of movement there.
Yeah. And who knows? Watch in the future as NXT people get called up. We'll see. We don't even know how that's going to go. If someone gets called up, which brand do they go to? That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Do they have to have they're a free agent? They could sign with either one. They have to,
That'd be cool. As for Raw, I think the current champions are New Day. I think the next people to take them off are probably Gallows and Anderson. The club, they're probably going to be the next champions. And for future, it's tough because they don't have a lot, but I can't believe I'm saying this. Golden Truth. I think they're at least... I think they're... No, sorry. Enzo and Cass. I totally forgot they were there.
I was like, what? You're going to pick
I was sorry. I was looking at our mock draft list. I'm sorry. It was Enzo and Cass are future champions.
God. I'm going to go with the same two as well.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to pick the Shining Stars, to be honest.
Who? Those guys. Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think New Day is going to hold it for a while.
Yeah.
But I do see Anderson and Gallows taking it, and they're going to take them over for the next...
Good. I hope Enzo and Cass do win it. They deserve it. As for underrated and overrated superstar picks for each brand...
overrated.
For Raw, overrated. Big Show. 100%. Underrated. Paige for sure, because she got picked in the stupid WWE Network hour. Cesaro, for sure. Paige and Cesaro share the same boat, as Cesaro gets picked late. That's very underrated.
How many picks after Big Show? 3 picks?
1, 2, the third pick after Big Show. And then Paige, how do you take one of the girls for the future in the WWE Network draft? This better be like a Detroit Red Wing thing where you pick someone late and they end up being like a superstar.
Hopefully.
As for SmackDown, obviously we already know what the most underrated pick is, and that's Apollo Crews. Overrated pick. Whew. There's a lot here.
Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm going to say Randy Orton.
Or The Miz.
Or Miz. Well, we need a champion, so I pick Randy Orton.
Natalya, actually.
I'm picking Randy Orton. I'm sticking with Randy Orton. He's way overrated.
Underrated, Carmella, Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
Obviously, now this is going to be a weekly thing now.
Yep, so we'll see.
Overrated, Eric Rowan should have went last.
Yeah.
And Jack Swagger should have went last for Raw.
Yep. Yeah. It was an interesting draft. Like, again, we had mixed opinions.
Honestly, like, the hype going into this, like, I haven't been this hype for many, many years.
Yep,
and it
that's
kind of
true.
didn't live up to my hype. I guess maybe...
I dropped my phone.
I guess maybe I hyped it a little too much than what
Are you like the hype bros hyping
I
it
guess
too
so.
much?
Maybe I was.
Are
But I
you
was
a
like,
hype bro, corporate cappy?
Sure, yeah. See what happens when when a corporate person gets hype? No, it doesn't work.
So, this is the Lowdown Show technically still, and as of for the Lowdown Show, I did a couple polls before the draft. So we are not taking stuff from our boys at WWE polls.
Are we doing
We're gonna do
Luke
our
Gallows
own
polls?
polls. I did a couple, not a lot. I only did a couple,
Not enough to play
I think I
his
did
theme
4 or
song.
5. So we'll get into them. So now it's time for the Luke Gallows polls, guys. All right, thank you for that fabulous intro, Luke Gallows, and your old theme song, and the end theme song for the Luke Gallows polls. But okay, the first poll I ran, it got a total of 9 votes. You know, we're not that popular as Fun WWE polls, but what do you think who do you think the first overall pick will be in the draft? I had Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Lesnar, and Cena. Seth Rollins and Ambrose tied at 33%,
Wow.
which technically they ended up being both the first round picks. Brock Lesnar at 11 and Cena at 23.
That's interesting, yeah.
So, guys, thanks for voting out there. The next poll I did, which brand does Finn Balor get drafted to in the WWE Draft? We had 9 votes, 56% SmackDown, 44 Raw. You guys were wrong. You're wrong.
Everyone,
You got drafted to Raw.
we
You guys
were wrong, too. We predicted he would go to
Yeah,
SmackDown.
we were wrong. So he'd be a Raw guy. And that's a surprise. We didn't think he was going to go to Raw. We didn't think that, especially at that point in the show at the beginning. We didn't think he was going to draft that early, yet alone Raw. So great pick for Raw. Overrated pick or underrated pick. Sorry. Next poll: will Bayley get drafted on SmackDown live at the WWE Draft? We had a total of 11 votes, and you all voted yes, and we were all disappointed.
Why did she not get drafted? Like, honestly, like, going into, like, the match at Battleground, like, everyone's saying that Bayley's going to be Sasha's, like, mystery partner, but I don't see it. I don't think it's happening. I honestly think it's going to be Nia Jax. And I don't think Bayley's getting called up, which is stupid, because she should be called up. And if she does get called up, I hope to God she goes to SmackDown, because where the fuck is she going to go on Raw? Like,
True. I mean, you look at it that way. You can't. If you put Bayley on Raw, it's really way too stacked. You have to put her on SmackDown and elevate that women's division more than it already is, and to help it get better. I really hope that she gets put on SmackDown. I really do. And if they bring back another women's title, she'll definitely be the future world champion for that division for women's.
then what happens when Bayley comes? Then you can't like Carmella anymore.
Exactly. Maybe not. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I'm really excited to see what happens here. But that's it for the Luke Gallows polls. I only need a couple.
Okay.
We'll get into some more next week in the Lowdown Show.
We had a lot this week.
No, speaking of Lowdown Show, guys, I'll get into it at the end, actually. I'll speak what the future of the Lowdown Show holds. So now, our last part of the show, the WWE headlines, which is interesting news going on in the WWE world. So cue the intro, breaking news. All right, welcome to WWE headlines. I only got 4 this week. There's a lot going on this week with the draft, so we only took 4 out of it. Number 1, we have Jerry Lawler and Booker T's status after the draft. Guys, after it has been confirmed that they are going to be sticking to the pre-show and kickoff matches for pay-per-views.
Yeah, the new announced teams for Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, so good. You know what? Jerry Lawler is on the way out. He's old. He's been in the game for so long.
We
And
heard him
Booker
last
T,
night. Like, he was terrible again on commentary. It was just like
it was annoying. Thank God.
He's his time has come and gone.
Yeah.
So
So Lawler, we do appreciate you for all your hard work that you've done.
But yeah, go into the SmackDown announce teams. That's going to be cool.
That's going to be cool, guys. So yeah, the SmackDown announce team will now consist of Mauro Ranallo, David Otunga, and JBL. We're going to see JBL. For this, we've seen JBL every single televised event we've gone to. And now we're going to see him on SmackDown. We caught a break. So our JBL equals rating sign is going to get seen once
point
again.
At us again.
Yep.
Look for it, guys.
Yeah, look out for it. Guys, we're on SmackDown. You'll be able to see us. We're going to be like literally right in the middle of the TV section.
To the right
in the crowd. Like literally right there. You'll be able to see us. So look for the JBL.
And we have a
ratings.
John Cena sucks 3-person sign.
Yep,
So
you'll see that during Cena's entrance. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to be the SmackDown team. The Raw teams consist of Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves.
Corey Graves getting the push on commentary.
Nice. I really like that. Corey Graves is a fantastic announcer. He brings a lot to the table. He knows a lot.
Guy.
He's got a lot of knowledge of wrestling. So
yeah, and former wrestler himself. So
yeah, that's good. So Booker T and Lawler sticking the kickoffs and pre-show. Next bit of news, several superstars unhappy with the WWE Draft. And we're going to get into this. It's interesting because, as you saw, Cesaro really pissed at where he got drafted, at what spot, and what brand. There's a big shoot backstage interview. If you guys go see it, it's really interesting.
Sasha retweeted
and I guess she's frustrated too because she wanted to get drafted to SmackDown. And she got
She should
drafted
have
to
been
Raw.
on SmackDown. She could have been the face of SmackDown.
Yeah, but again, also to Paige and Del Rio, they're pretty upset that they got split up. They thought they were going to get drafted together, so now they're split up. This is really, really not fair to them because they're really in love. Like these guys are found. Like you can't just split somebody up like that. So
Were they the only couple that got split up? I think they were.
I think there was
Naomi and
more.
Usos are on the same show.
Yeah, I think there was more. I want to say there was more.
Well, it depends on if Tyson Kidd, wherever the hell he goes.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's
just a lot of superstars out there are not happy to where they got drafted.
Especially like you said, Cesaro, Sasha, because they wanted to go to the more wrestling show with SmackDown. You know.
Yeah, and then couples based with Paige and Del Rio. So yeah, several
I think
superstars are
Finn
unhappy
Balor's
right
was
now.
A joke too,
Yeah.
because he drafted 3rd overall. He's like, I should have been higher, but whatever. That was a joke, obviously.
Yeah. Next bit of news: 50 former WWE superstars
got
are
that.
taking lawsuit against WWE for concussions.
Okay, so I've got a list of the notable ones. So we've got Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Road Warrior Animal, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Chavo Guerrero Sr. and Jr., Chavo Classic as well. We've got Ahmed Johnson, Kamala, Earl and Dave Hebner, King Kong Bundy,
Oh god,
Sabu, Mark Jindrak, remember him?
Mark Jindrak,
Marty Jannetty,
hey,
Heidenreich, the Warlord. I'm pretty sure he had the record for the smallest, shortest time in the Royal Rumble before Santino broke it. Slick, Doctor of Style, just inducted someone in the Hall of Fame, I think.
Yep.
I think it was Big Boss Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. And now he's like, wow,
One Man Gang, Jazz,
what?
Savan Grenier.
Jeez.
What else have we got? Shane Douglas, Muhammad Hassan.
Oh my god, the last rider himself.
Yep. And we've got the last one, Rodney Mack.
Rodney Mack.
The Mack Militant.
Oh my god.
So Jazz and
Mack
Rodney
Militant
Mack together, the couple. They so all these people
are trying to do a lawsuit against the WWE for concussions. And it just goes back. It's like the NFL. Like people just don't know. They want. They're money hungry. They're probably running out of cash, and they're like, you know what? Let's just sue them. Oh yeah, my head hurts. I had a concussion from WWE. They didn't protect me.
I mean, WWE protects, especially nowadays. Like the protocol they go through is like top notch.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. So hopefully it gets resolved and it gets fixed soon, so it's not getting in the way of WWE's product. Getting into the last bit of news, there's actually a real fight backstage on SmackDown. I guess it's happening in catering with the two people you wouldn't have think fighting each other, Simon Gotch and Sin Cara.
So was he?
What in the hell were they fighting over?
Was he being Hunico though? Did he have his mask off?
I don't know. What were you fighting? Did someone take someone's cheesies? Like, why the hell were you guys fighting backstage? A real fight.
And they got drafted to opposite shows, so I don't know what the hell they could have been
what I want to know. We're gonna see what happens, and hopefully it gets released during the week, and we'll talk about it next week.
Guys, if you know what it is, dig it up for us.
Yeah,
Comment.
put it on YouTube, comment or tweet at us. If you guys know what the hell the fight was about, tweet at us, and we'll talk about it next week. And we'll mention your comment
or do
on the show.
We'll pick a winner of who says like the best, like the funniest thing that they got into a fight over.
Yeah, guys, here it is right now. If you guys can think of the funniest reason for the Simon Gotch and Sin Cara fight, we'll send you something nice. All right, so leave us a comment down YouTube channel or tweet at us at noholdsbarredwp. The winner will be announced next week on the show. So that's going to be so interesting. I can't wait to hear your answers, guys. Yep. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. What a day it was yesterday. Again, mixed reactions all over the place.
Yep, we'll see what happens on Battleground this week.
Oh, yeah, Battleground this Sunday, guys. Don't forget to check that out. Some huge matches. That's a big card for Battleground. Like, it's huge. There's a lot of matches. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Randy Orton on the highlight reel.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for another episode of the Lowdown Show on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. We are your Canadian-based WWE podcast that discusses and reviews Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown from the weeks past, and as well our Twitter poll segment called the Luke Gallows Polls and WWE Headlines, where we talk about any important news in the WWE. So yeah, guys, every week the Lowdown Show will be reviewing both shows. We're going to get it jam-packed. It's probably going to be like an hour show. Who knows? We'll see. We'll just play it by ear, but it looks like it won't be that long of a show as SmackDown's roster is pretty small.
Thank you to all of our new subscribers.
Yeah, and thank you guys. Thank you for the support for that draft video. You guys don't know how much it means to us. We went from 31 subscribers to now where we at 350 something. We're at 40,000 views. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. You don't know how much it means to us, so thanks for the love. So guys, if you want to follow the podcast, do so by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, as well as subscribing to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spreaker. All the links will be in the description below. As always, I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I'm continued to be joined every week by my co-host, the boss, Mr. Corporate himself, Corporate Cappy.
Yep.
And we are always here reminding you to keep it on the lowdown.